This is Wednesday night racing for June 18th, I believe it is. We have 9 boats out tonight. Not all of them are here. But we're going to start the race when we get the first few here. 11 seconds before the start. These guys are all right on the line, looking good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All clear! Okay, it looks like 45.95 probably got the best start. They're on top of everybody. Clear air. 52.20 is in bad air. It needs to get out of there. They're right in the other 2 boats bad air. That's very, very slow. The boat far to our right here started right on time and is on top of the fleet there height-wise, but I think he's behind quite a bit because the pinion was favored in this time. 52.20 just tacked behind 175, and the reason they're behind is because they stayed in that bad air just way too long, so the 2 other boats in front of them slowed them down. Take a look at the different techniques here. The boat in front is the flattest boat of the bunch. He just tacked to cover his guys that are behind him, which is a smart move. You keep between them and the mark. He could cross them, so he should. That's a good move. Philippe did the same thing to follow him, but forgot about that starboard tacker, so it did dip. They did follow the rule, they dipped very nicely. Let's go to the weather mark, see how this plays out. Okay, here we are at the weather mark of race 1. 61.61 had a really good start with good speed, and they're now leading the fleet. The second 2 boats have kind of crossed paths twice. 52.20 has done a very good job of catching back up again. Right now they're sailing higher and faster than 175. You can just see the difference. So with a little luck, they're going to catch them by the weather mark. That would put them in second. 45.95 down there has been sailing a little low and slow. Let's look at them next race, see if we can figure out why that happened to them. Okay, 61.61's tacked for the mark. He's left himself a little extra room, which is smart. If you get that much of a lead, bend a little bit, make sure you're coming in fast, don't try to pinch in there. 52.20 has overtaken the boat underneath them, so they've done some really good sailing on this weather leg. Look how fast and high they're going. They're doing a great job. Okay, Alex is heading down, hoisting the spinnaker. Okay, here comes 52.20. Now, look how long it took Alex. It looks like he's not even flying his spinnaker if he's putting it up. If these guys can get their spinnaker up and get going, they'll pass it. They're getting their spinnaker up before the mark. At least they're trying to. They're a little behind there, but that's okay. Okay, they've got their pole up. Now they've got to get that spinnaker hoisted. These guys have their pole up and they came around the mark. That's a big advantage. They're hoisted right away. If they get that spinnaker full, that's an advantage over 52.20. These guys have their pole up. Got to get the spinnaker up now. Don't want to waste any time. Now 52.20, because they were so slow at getting their spinnaker up, these guys are going to start catching them, putting them in bad air. They had a really good lead there. If they just got that spinnaker a little quicker and full of air, they'd have been better off. But let's see, if there was some good sailing, they can still keep it going. 45.95, or the white, orange, and red spinnaker should be, and it looks like he is, pointing his boat right at the stern of red, white, and blue spinnaker 52.20. We should try to steal their wind and try to catch it. 175 is sailing higher, which I think is a good idea to stay out of the pack. Both sides of the pack will go faster than the ones that are together. I don't think Philippe has done a good job on 45.95 of stealing 52.20's air, so they're probably clear. Let's get on the finish and see how it plays out. Alex has had a good enough lead going upwind that he did not fly his spinnaker downwind, and he still got everybody. The white and orange and red spinnaker started to steal 52.20's air, so they had to come up a little bit to clear it. That was a good move on his part. They had to come up and clear it, and that's going to give him an advantage. But now they've got to bear back off and get down to that finish line so they can catch it. It's going to be a close race between the 3 boats. Now it's all about on who's got the best spinnaker trim and the best boat speed. 5220 is going the fastest of the bunch. They've got perfect spinnaker trim. It's going to be close. Check out the difference in point there between Obi and Jorg. You notice how Jorg is pointing a lot higher. Obi's kind of bowed down. I think Jorg is doing the better thing. I think that's going to let him go ahead in the overall thing. Then we got two more boats. See how they're doing compared to each other. And the boat way up in front's got a whole ton of people on it, so they're going to have a hard time going fast. They seem to be doing okay in spite of it. The boat behind them seems to be sliding into him, so he's not going upwind as well as they are. Okay, 6075 went way left on their own. Let's see how that pays out. Usually be that far away from your fleet is not a good plan. We'll head up the course and see what we're doing. The top mark of the second race, 6138. That's Dave Martin. Got a really good start. Went a little bit right and then tacked over to cover the fleet. That looks like it's working out pretty well for him. A couple of guys over here that went way left. If the fleet separates like that, way right and way left is usually taking a risk. One of the guys probably did better. The ones that are going left, the ones that went right. Whoever did wrong just gave it away. Here comes Dave Brown and Mark. You can see they're already getting the pole up. Now Philippe is right behind him. Sailed a pretty good race, and Jorg right behind him. So they're all sailing pretty good races. Dave's bringing that spinnaker up whether the pole's ready or not. Pull back and bam, it's flying. That's a good spinnaker set. That's the way they should all look. That makes a big difference in terms of making gains on your competitors. Let's see how these guys do. Now see, at this point, Dave already had his up and flying. They're still getting theirs up. Lots of poles up here, that's good. But still, look, Dave's been flying for a long time. The Jorg is going way high while he's setting his spinnaker. I'd be sailing dead downwind. I wouldn't be going high. Sorry about that. Get the motor there. By doing that, he's just giving away a lot of ground. At least he should be going downwind while he's doing all that work. This is going to mean that 5220 here, if they get around, get a good set and head down, we'll pass him. Here comes Hellcat. Now see how he went straight downwind? That's a lot faster than going up high and then having to come back down again. Here comes Bandit and Beja Flor. Okay, let's head down to the finish. Okay, here we are at the finish of the second race. Take a look at the gains that Dave made by having his spinnaker up very quickly and getting his boat moving right away. He's expanded his lead by quite a bit. You've got two boats behind him that are sailing pretty close together. I think they're far enough apart where they're not affecting each other. And Jorg is way out there. He sailed just too far. He sailed too sideways for too long. Now he's going to make up that ground coming down. Let's see how these boats do over here against him, because they should have a pretty good advantage. Now most of these boats are far enough apart. They're sailing in their own air. Now it's just a matter of really good trim. You got to focus on keeping that spinnaker full and pulling. Look at the trim on Dave's boat. Spinnaker's out in front going. Second boat looks pretty good too here. See how the spinnaker's way out in front of the boat, standing straight up. That's good trim. The one behind it, that spinnaker is kind of touching the forestay. That means they've got it over trimmed. So the pole's probably in the wrong place. And they're having to pull it in harder to get it to fill. Here comes the guys on Maggie May, the red and white spinnaker. They rounded the third and they hung on to that position. They should be proud of themselves. They got a lot of people on that boat and they're going pretty fast. Taking a look at Jorgen's way off to the end of the starting line there. He's literally going to take his spinnaker down now and reach in. That's going to be really, really slow. Let's see how this plays out now. It's going to be closer. It looks like 6109 is the next one to finish. 5220. 175. See how 61 spinnaker again is touching his forestay. That's not good trim. That's slow. That's going to make you go slower than the guys that got to stand it up and proud out there. All clear! Okay, it's the start of the third race for Wednesday night. Bandita got a really good start there. Fast, going strong there. 220's looking pretty good. Maggie May's behind, but got a good line. Dave Hellcat had to bail out. He was in the second row. York's still behind the fleet here. Right now, Dita looks like they had the best start. Dave is way out there down below him. He was able to carve out away from him, so he's going to do all right. Let's see how this works. Right up here. Okay, although Bandita got the best start, I think Dave, just with sheer boat speed, has kind of creeped out ahead of him. This is the whole fleet over here except for these two people way over here. So that's not a bad thing. They had to tack out to get clear air, but you really don't want to separate the fleet that far because you either get hosed or you'll do great. And if you get hosed, you're getting hosed by all the boats. Look at the distance in those boats. Okay, people are starting to tack over to that side now. 9 boats out here, lots of newbies, lots of guys at their first race out here. Really great for these skippers to come out here and get these guys on their boats, turn loose in a racing situation. It makes some of the boat maneuvers slower and fatter than they should be, and we understand that if we're taking these videos because there's new people trying things out. Let's go to the weather mark and see how things are going. Okay, here we are at the weather mark, third race. You can see the boat that went way left. Pretty much, I think, got hosed. It looks like it's behind everybody. Now, they weren't doing all that well to begin with, so sometimes, if you're in 7th out of 9 or 8th out of 9, you can take a flyer because you might catch them. But you can see, I don't think that paid for them at all. I think that hurt them. 5220 has done a good job of coming upwind. I think they're in pretty good position here. Don't think they're winning, but they're competitive. We got boats coming in here on the lay line. I'm thinking this guy the furthest right here maybe even overstood a bit. He stayed there too long. Having to operate this boat and film at the same time, so if you get a little jerking around here, I apologize for that. Just trying to get close without getting in their way. Here comes Maggie May. What a performance of those guys. Look at all the people on that boat, and they're at the weather mark first. That's some pretty good sailing these guys' part. Dita, who had the best start, was able to stay in there for second place. Dave just had to duck a couple of people. That's the problem with coming in on the port lay line, is that everybody that comes at you has got their right of way. Okay, now it's going to be who can get their spinnakers up quickest. Get that boat heading downwind. Sorry, again, I'm adjusting the boat here. Okay, once again, Dave's spinnaker's up real quick. That's going to help him. Look at how far some of the boats are downwind, with still no spinnakers flying compared to his. Now he's got to get that pole back, get that thing full of air. There we go. comes Obi. Now he's been kind enough to have 2 brand new people on his boat tonight. So he's having to talk him through how to get this done while going around the mark. That's full plate for a skipper, but he's doing a great job. He would probably be doing a lot better if he had some skilled crew on the boat, but the whole idea Wednesday nights is get people out here and let them try it, and we want to thank him for doing it. Okay, take a look at these spinnakers going downwind. Everybody's got them full, things are looking good. We're going to head down and see how the finish goes. Okay, here's first and second place, getting tied up with each other, both going really slow. Meanwhile, 5220 is out here on her own air, passing them right on by. It's really important you don't sail right next to another boat going downwind because you both just stop. And you may just beat that guy right next to you, but meanwhile the fleet's going away from you. You can see the difference in the speed of the 2 boats, 2 sets of boats. These 2 are close together here, but 5220 is staying far enough away from them to keep their air clear. This might work out pretty well for them. Let's see how this plays out when we get down to the finish line. Remember 5220 around the mark, I would say 4th. So because they had better spinnaker control all the way downwind and good driving, they're right back in this race. We're watching that spinnaker with an eagle eye, checking it every second, making sure it's perfect. Look how close this race is going to be. It's all about now who can keep clear air and make the best trim on their spinnakers. Okay, it looks like these guys are jibing. They're going to rotate that spinnaker around for her. Now that just took a potential first place and put him right back down to 4th. You need to keep that boat dead down and keep that spinnaker full while they're doing that jibe. They wouldn't have lost any ground at all. This is still a really, really close race. This is a really, really well-sailed race from a lot of boats. Let's see who ekes it out here. This is some fun racing. These guys are all pretty darn close here. See, Maggie May looks like she's got a pretty clear lead here. It'll be close between Dave over here and Dita way down at the other end. Okay, that was a good example of minor little tiny little things making a difference in winning the race or not. 5220 was right in that. If they could have had a better jibe, they'd have probably been second, maybe even first. We'll go to the next race, see how it goes. Here we go. It's 17 seconds before the start of the 4th race for Wednesday Night Racing. Everybody's nice and close to the line, even these guys over here. They're on the other end, but they're right there. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All clear. Okay, so it looks like Dave in 6138 got the best start. He's obviously a boat 2 lengths or 2 ahead. I believe the pin to be a little bit favored. That's going to help him. 5220 is right on his heels and in pretty good condition for second place. 6161 is looking pretty good. Now Maggie May is behind, but they've been sailing well all night long, so it's looks for them to catch up. The pin, I think, was definitely favored. Look how far ahead Dave and 5220 are because they started down there. These 2 boats here are just getting to the starting line. So with that kind of a lead everybody has on it, it'll be very difficult to catch up. You really need to be on that line and going fast when it starts. Okay, Jorg here in Scarface tacked out. He felt like he was in bad air. Time to get out of there. Got 3 or 4 boats tacking over now to clear their air. Right now, I'd say 5220 and Dave Martin have got the best race going on. Let's see what happens as we head upwind. Now these 3 boats are all sailing a little slower than the rest of the fleet. Take a look at how he just fixed his, Ryan did, but their main sheets were really far out. And when you have your main sheet that far out, you're just not going to go high and as fast as the guy that's got it pulled in properly. You take a look up there at 5220, their main's really in. These guys got their main way out. That's okay for really, really light air. We've got enough air right now. They just got to get that leach closed on the top and get the boat moving. We're closer to Ryan's main. See how that main is pulled in pretty tight? Well, if we look over here, look how much further out it is. You might have to think Ryan is going to be going higher and faster than the other boats. You get more force out of his main. Lay line of the 4th race. You can see the black boat Scarface went way out to the left. It's on the lay line from way out there. The rest of the fleet went right. We'll see how that worked out for him. Now there's Dave. He had a really good start. He's about to tack on the lay line. And look how he's right precise on the lay line. That was pretty good. Not overstood, not understood, just right. Now 5220 was right behind him at the start. Sailing pretty well. They got a little far left there, and in fact they're behind Jorg. So that tells me that Jorg probably did okay if he crossed them, because these guys were sailing pretty well. So the left didn't hurt him too much over there. These guys all went right. Here's Dave coming around with a very handy lead. Looks like Maggie May is in position to be second. Dave's tough to catch downwind. Look how fast that spinnaker was up and pulling. It's hard to beat that. Once you get a lead and you get that spinnaker up that quickly, it's just hard to catch you. Let's see how this mark rounding goes for these guys. Maggie May's getting their pole up, getting it ready. Right behind them is, looks like Obi. Obi had a good weather leg there. Jorg, who went way left, made up by it. It worked for him. He went left and it paid over all these guys that went right, except for the 2 leaders. Obi's heading downwind. He's a little slower getting his spinnaker up because he's got all these newbies on board, but he's doing a great job. He did a great job of getting it upwind. Turned down pretty nice. And here comes 5220. They were in 2nd place when they left the starting line. Slipped a few. Sorry about that. I have to drive this boat again. Okay, but overall the fleet's pretty close together here. These top boats are right in the same neighborhood. And we're at the finish of the 5th race. Dave Martin coming across, taking the honors. One more race, Dave, one more. One more. Here comes the fleet behind him. Let's see how they're going to do here. Got some pretty close racing here. 6109 and Scarface really, really close to each other. I think Scarface and the boats behind him got Obi's air, stole his air from him. So he should have been watching behind him a little bit and headed up and gotten those guys off his tail. He's really just closed in there with a bunch of boats. Okay, these guys here in Maggie May just jibed over. Now that was a good jibe. They didn't lose any speed or any pressure at all. See, they're still working on the pole. The guy running the spinnaker sheets is keeping that thing flying. And that good jibe is going to help make them hang on to their 2nd place. Okay, Obi's got his air free, but he's got new people on the boat. You can see the spinnaker sagging down on the forestay. That pole needs to be adjusted. You need to let that sheet out to get more power out of that spinnaker. Look at the one in 5220. Much better looking spinnaker. Up high in the air, full of air, way up in the air compared to the other 2. And they're going fast. We're just going to run out of room there. They would catch him if this race was a little bit longer. One more. One more. One more. You take a look at this spinnaker wrapped around the forestay. That's just very, very slow. You really gotta let the thing out there and get it flying. That one out there looks so much better. It's got standing up in the air. That's what you're looking for. You want that all the time. Here we go. 13 seconds before the start. These guys down here have figured it out, but boy, 5220 is in the second row there. They're going to get hammered. 3, 2, 1. All clear! Okay, so 6161 got a great start on that. 4595 is doing good. 6138 is doing good. Those three guys are out and gone. 5220 got buried in the second row. He's having a hard time just making the mark down there because it is heavily favored. Okay, he had to tack to make it. He's going to come back, and now he's going to be behind the entire fleet. So we got to do some magic to get back in this race. Now, Jorg has figured out he's just sailing this sea of bad air. He's tacking out. The last time he went to the right, and it paid for him. So these two guys that go right, you never know. They just might catch the fleet. This is a time when it's a good idea to give something like that a try because it's not going to get a whole lot worse. You're already in 8th and 9th position, so to take a flyer is a good time to roll the dice and see what happens. Let's head up and see what's going on. Recognize that I took the course further right, so he checked back in for a minute. But it looks like he's got a wind shift. He'd like to go the other way again. But he's staying further to the right this time because I did move the course around north. He looks like he's doing pretty well out in front there. Although 6161 could be giving him trouble too. Let's see what happens when they cross. Dave's deciding to work up the middle, and these two guys went hard left. I don't understand that I moved the course over a little bit, so hard left is a little different than it was before. Let's see what happens when they cross and how it works out. Okay, Dave has definitely held his lead. Now I think he's a little further ahead than he was. On the right hand side here, Jorg went hard, deep, hard, right again. See if that pays for him. 5220 decided not to dig in quite that deep and came back over. Here's our mark up there. The fleet is definitely split. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 on the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the left. Let's go to the top and see what happens. Fleet on the last race of the evening, coming upwind to the weather mark. Jorg's hard left, I don't know if it hurt him, but it doesn't look like it helped him much. Although I don't know, he's looks like he's back in the hunt a little bit. Let's see how these guys at the top of the race course do. There's Dave right there, and I think he's definitely in first place. In hot pursuit is Dita. I don't think they're very far behind him. And Dave comes to the weather mark there and attacks, and we're going to be able to see. Yep, I don't think it paid too much for Jorg. There's still most of the fleet's in front of him. It was worth a shot. He had a pretty unlucky start. There comes Dave, a really nice, sharp, clean lay line there. He's going to like that. 49.95, I think, under 45.95, I think understood a little bit. He may be having some troubles. He might make it, but it's pretty tight. And I believe he's in some of Dave's bad air, which is not going to help him. Here comes the fleet around. Dave's pulled up, Spinnaker's coming out. Pull back a bit, and another picture perfect set. That was beautiful. Here comes Dita in hot pursuit. Pulls out. Spinnaker up. Pull back. Another pretty darn good Spinnaker set. Alice at 6161. They didn't have their pole up. They're really going fast because Dita somehow didn't quite get the boat moving and let their Spinnaker up. I wasn't looking at what problem they had, but Alex is just running right over them. Here comes Obi. Again, for all new people on the boat, being in fourth place in weather mark, pretty darn good. They're getting a pole out. I mean, for new people, that's not terrible. Spinnaker's going up. They get that pole back, force it forward to the spinnaker. Okay, for new people, that was a decent set. Here comes Maggie May. They've been doing really well all night, but they kind of got hammered this race. Here comes York. So, okay, his flyer picked him up 1, 2, 3 boats. That's not terrible. Hellcat's got to get that pole back. That'll help him out a whole lot. Okay, here's the whole fleet going downwind. York is still okay. He's got new people on the boat, but still struggling with getting that spinnaker up. Doesn't look like I forced a jibe with my move on the course, but I definitely made them go dead downwind this time. Now, those that didn't notice and they get their pole forward, they're going to have to jibe back. The ones that went dead down right away are probably going to be okay. Nice shot at the wins in that race. Last race, Dave came in first. 45.95 Dita came in second. Bandit third. We did have some jibes on this race, so I got over far enough where they had to work for it a little bit more. Wasn't being very kind to Ovi because you got new people on the boat to make him jibe. Got some pretty ugly spinnakers up there. We got to get those poles back at the shootout. Yeah, Jorg carved his way back from last place. He's going to beat, looks like, 3 boats. That's a pretty good thing to accomplish when you had a bad start. Took a little flyer to the right, sailed very well, caught some boats. Hellcats have a little trouble out there. I think that 5220 is going to pass them. Trouble with 5220s are sitting in their bad air. So they've got to head down or head up or do something to get out of that mess. Jorg went around, there's Beja Flor, those are next boats in. And it looks like 5220 got Hellcat just. Okay, that's it for Wednesday Night Racing.